Bulldogs and the Fighting Irish. So on the mound for the Bulldogs is Michael Hale, the freshman from Dresser, Wisconsin. First pitch is a swung on and miss, and we are underway. Here's the 0-1. That's ball one. So Goodrow will start things off as the count is 2-1. So starting in defense for the Bulldogs, we have Brock Hudick in center, Jack Florig in left, Tyler Hall in right. Grounder to short. No, it'll be picked up by Isaac Jermu. He'll throw to first, and they got him. Jermu does it again with his defense as he plays third base for the second time today. As Leyva is at short, Ty Perrin at second, and Colton Hicks, who came in and pitched in the 7th inning for the Bulldogs, is now at first. Damon Harris behind the plate, and Michael Hale on the mound. As I've also had the privilege with announcing games with Michael Hale as well, as that's going to be a base hit as that gets through. As it gets through Ty Perrin. That'll be a base hit for Ballard. Or Ballard, excuse me. So here is Anthony Ingram. Ingram singled and scored in a run back in game 1. Here's the pitch from Hale. That is low and outside. Count is 1-0. Michael Hale getting set on the mound. 1 out here in the first inning. That's in there for a called strike 2. Daniel Durkin Jr. awaits his turn in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Anthony Ingram. 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. Just the start of things here in game 2 of this doubleheader series between the Fighting Irish and the Bulldogs. Hale getting set on the mound. 2-1 pitch, and they got the runner pick off. Hicks will throw, and that'll be as the runner is now on second base. As Perrin was off the, or actually they have called it a balk. As Ballard. So the runner is at second base with 1 out. Top of the first, here's the 2-1. Breaking ball misses inside. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Anthony Ingram. Count is 3-1. 1 out. Here's the pitch. That'll be ball 4. As the University of Notre Dame will have runners at first and second with 1 out. As now the battle is Daniel Durkin Jr. Durkin struggled offensively in game 1. He's flied out and struck out and grounded out. So he'll bat with runners at first and second with 1 out. Here's the pitch from Michael Hale. Durkin Jr. hits a high fly ball into center field. That's going to be caught by Hudick. And he'll throw. He'll try throwing to third base, but it'll be cut off by Jesse Leyva. So that'll be the second out of the inning. Two outs. here in the top of the first inning. This is game 2 of a doubleheader series. Remember, instead of 9 innings, it is 7 innings when it's a doubleheader series for club baseball. Runners on first and third, 2 outs here in the first inning. The clock is now, it is 3 o'clock p.m. here in Adrian, Michigan. As Christopher Ayers hits it foul and out of play. Ayers was on base a couple times. He stole second twice, and he stole third once. Here's the pitch. Swing, and he swings and hits it foul and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes on Christopher Ayers. Count is 0-2. Just the start of things here in game 2 at Nicolay Field. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Swinging a high pop fly, it'll hit the net. It's been a good at-bat so far between Ayers and Hale. Still an 0-2 count. Thomas Toole waits his turn in the on-deck circle. He'll be next if Ayers shall reach. 0-2 from Hale. Just off the plate. That one was close. Just misses the outside corner. Home plate umpire confirms the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Christopher Ayers. Michael Hale getting set on the mound. Home plate umpire calls timeout. Count 1-2 on Ayers. Runners on the corners, 2 out. And a swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Michael Hale gets Christopher Ayers striking out, swinging. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, Notre Dame threatens, but they do not score as they leave runners on third and first to end the top half of the first inning. No score just yet in game 2 at Nicolay Field. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
Elevate your game? At Adrian College, our athletes strive for excellence on and off the field. Get involved in over 50 student clubs and organizations where your passions meet purpose. With innovative programs and personalized learning, our academics are designed to ignite your future. Experience vibrant student life, where community and connection shape your college journey. Adrian College, where you belong. Apply today and become part of the Bulldog family.
Bottom of the first inning here in game 2 of this doubleheader series at Nicolay Field between the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish and your Adrian College Bulldogs. My name is Forrest Vernier. I'll be your play-by-play announcer once again here in game 2. Directing is Aiden Travers. Also, special shout out to Dakota Schneider, one of our student directors, who is here, just making sure that everything on the broadcast goes smoothly and going as planned. And so, coming up to bat for the Bulldogs is Brock Hudick and Jack Florg and Jesse Leyva, followed by Tyler Hall, Isaac Jermu, Colton Hicks, Luke Pope. Pope is making his first appearance in this series. He is the DH. Colton Hicks, who came in game 1 and pitched, is playing first base. He'll bat in the 6th position. Damon Harris, the catcher, will bat 8th, and Ty Perrin will be at the bottom of the lineup. As we are just about ready to get things going here. As we will let you know who is on the mound for Notre Dame pretty shortly. So pitching for Notre Dame, it is going to be Hughes. Hughes will face Brock Hudick. Hudick will lead things off for the Bulldogs. Swings and hits it foul and out of play. Brock Hudick was hit by a pitch in game one. He was caught stealing and throw down at second. He grounded into a double play. And he did hit a double but did not score. Hudick hits a ground ball. That'll get to the second baseman. He'll throw to first. And that'll be thrown away. Hudick will be aboard on first base as Ingram could not quite make the play that he wanted to get. As now coming up to bat will be Jack Florig. So on the mound for the Fighting Irish is Nolan Hughes. He has a 1-0 win-loss record. This is only his second time that he has started a game. He has pitched in 4 innings, walked 1 and struck out 3, a 0.25 whip. So Florig in game 1, he walked and grounded out. So he reached base but did not score because the Fighting Irish got the win against the Bulldogs. It was 3-1, and that's going to get away from the first baseman, as going to second is Brock Hudick. As that one got away from Toole. So Toole played in right back in game 1. He'll be at first for game 2. And Goodrow, also for Notre Dame, Goodrow, who was the DH back in game 1, he is in right field in game 2. So Jack Florig will bat with a runner in second and nobody out in the bottom half of the first inning. Hughes gets set on the mound. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hudick hits a swing and a high pop fly to the left side of the infield. That will be caught by the shortstop, Boscarino. Excuse me, that's Guy who made the catch at shortstop. So here's Jesse Leyva. Leyva went 0 for 3 in game 1, flied out, struck out, and grounded out. 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Hudick gets second. First pitch from Hughes to Leyva. That's outside. Count is 1 ball and no strikes on Jesse Leyva. It's only the bottom of the first inning. The throw back to second. They did not get him. Hudick was able to slide back in as the shortstop, Guy, was able to try his best to cover up some ground, but Hudick showing some good base running so far. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul and out of play. So the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Jesse Leyva here in the bottom of the first inning. This is game 2 of this doubleheader series between the Fighting Irish and the Bulldogs. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Here's the pitch from Hughes. Inside, high and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hudick taking his lead from second base. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's in there for a called strike 2. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jesse Leyva. Hudick still at second base. A base hit could bring him on home and give the Bulldogs the first lead. Here's a 2-2. Swinging a little nubber. That'll be called a foul ball. Leyva just got a piece of that one. Count still 2-2 on Jesse Leyva with one out. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Noah Hughes. Here, that's in the air to right field. That is going to be caught by Goodrow for out number 2. Staying at second is Brock Hudick. So Leyva flies out for the second out of the inning. Here is Tyler Hall. Hall lined out, struck out, and grounded out back in game 1. Here's the pitch. That is low. 1 ball and no strikes on Tyler Hall. Two outs. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike 1 on Tyler Hall as it lands on the low outside corner. So the count is even on Tyler Hall. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bulldogs trying to take an early lead in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the 1-1. Hall just got a piece of that one. So the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Bulldog right fielder. If Hall shall reach, Isaac Jermu, the third baseman, is waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's just outside. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Tyler Hall. Hudick still at second base. He will be on the move here with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Hall hits it in the air to shallow right. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Hudick is rounding third. He will come in and score. Going to second is Tyler Hall. As Hall has an RBI double, scoring in Brock Hudick, and the Bulldogs take their first lead of this series as they lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Tyler Hall is now in scoring position. That's the first hit and RBI for Tyler Hall of this series. Now here's Isaac Jermu. At strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball just misses. Count is even on Isaac Jermu. 1 ball and 1 strike here in the bottom of the first inning. Tyler Hall is at second base. Bulldogs have a 1-0 lead on the RBI double from Tyler Hall. Here's the 1-1, and that hit him. So Isaac Jermu is hit by the pitch. That pitch got him on the elbow. So the Bulldogs will have runners at first and second base with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, as coming up to bat is Colton Hicks. Hicks made an appearance in game 1 as a pitcher as he took over for Joe Postma in the 7th inning. He is playing first base in game 2, and here he is taking his first at-bat in this series. And the first pitch he'll see from Noah Hughes will be ball 1. Count 1-0 on Noah Hughes. Bulldogs have a 1-0 lead here in game 2. Here in the bottom of the first inning, the 1-0. in there for a called strike one. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. That's way outside. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Colton Hicks. Hicks trying to keep this offense going for Adrian College in the bottom of the first inning. They have a 1-0 lead, but it would be nice to get at least another run or 2 more here. Here's the 2-1 delivery. And a ground ball to third base. That's a fair ball. But Colleran will tag the bag for out number 3. The Bulldogs take a 1-0 lead on the RBI double by Tyler Hall. They get another runner on base on the hit by pitch to Isaac Jermu. But Colton Hicks hits a grounder to third, and as Colleran tags the bag for out number 3 as we go to the second inning. Adrian College has the lead 1-0 in Game 2. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
I'm a special ed social worker.
And I'm a third-year public affairs major.
I'm an action filmmaker.
I'm a recent graduate from Michigan State University.
I'm an underwater cinematographer.
So I didn't really decide I wanted to become a pilot till after college.
Jevy is like a consolidated platform where I could have focused information in a couple swipes.
Involve yourself as many opportunities that you can.
The number one most important thing is knowing your own weaknesses. Proper planning.
Breakfast.
That's always something different, something new.
The fact that you can be another small voice that adds to a beautiful space. That's what I'm here for.
Top of the second inning now is Michael Hale gets back to work on the mound for Adrian College. He'll face Thomas Toole, followed by Parker Davidson and Joseph Colleran. As ball 1. Count 1-0 on Thomas Toole. Here's the pitch. That's outside. Toole struck out twice to Joe Postma back in Game 1. He's taking his first at bat in Game 2. Here's the 2-0 from Michael Hale. It's a grounder to short. Leyva will pick it up. He'll make the throw to first, and they'll get the out. So Thomas Toole grounds out to short for out number 1 here in the second inning. So now batting will be the catcher, Parker Davidson. Davidson went 1 for 3 back in Game 1, singled and struck out twice. So he'll bat with nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the second inning. First pitch to him, hits it foul and out of play. So Hale has 1 strikeout so far in this game. Count 0-1 on Parker Davidson. Davidson will be followed by Joseph Colleran. Here's a fly ball to the right side. That will go foul and out of play. Actually hit the roof on the pavilion and landed back onto the field. As Hale is doing a good job getting ahead with the count. It is 0-2 on Parker Davidson. Getting his home plate umpire calls timeout as Hale is getting the pitch that he wants to throw. Here's the 0-2. That is low and outside. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Parker Davidson. Count is 1-2 on Davidson. Here's the pitch from Hale. Here's a fly ball. That'll go foul and out of play. Count still 1-2 on Davidson. Pretty sunny day here at Adrian. There are some clouds, but mostly blue sky. Here's the 1-2. That's in the air to the right side. That'll land in foul territory. So this at-bat will continue for at least one more pitch. It's been a good at-bat here for Parker Davidson. Bulldogs have a 1-0 lead. He's back in the bottom of the first. Tyler Hall hit an RBI double. That scored in Brock Hudick. Foul now to play again. This has been a good battle between Michael Hale and Parker Davidson. Joseph Colleran will be next. He's waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-2 from Hale. And a little nubber. Foul ball. Still a 1-2 count on Parker Davidson. Parker Davidson is a sophomore from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Here's the 1-2 from Hale. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's strikeout number 2 for Michael Hale as he gets Davidson's swing on a pitch that was down and in. So now the batter will be Joseph Colleran. Colleran grounded out and flied out a couple of times back in game 1. He's taking his first at-bat here in game 2. Just got a piece of that one. If Colleran shall reach, Eric Gee waits his turn on deck. Here's the 0-1. And a little flare, but that's going to be caught by the second baseman, Ty Perrin. So that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Hale as he gets a ground out, a strikeout, and a line out as we make our way to the bottom of the second inning. The Adrian College Bulldogs have a 1-0 lead over the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
Adrian College is shaping the future of higher education and leading the way in innovation and excellence. Ranked first in most innovative schools and second in best value in undergraduate teaching in the Midwest by U.S. News and World Report, Adrian College is recognized for its commitment to innovation, quality education, and affordability. Offering 71 undergraduate programs, 13 graduate programs, and a 1-to-15 faculty-to-student ratio, our students receive personalized attention and a cutting-edge education. With state-of-the-art facilities, 10 academic institutes, and 50 competitive sports teams, Adrian fosters growth both inside and outside the classroom. From small class sizes to championship-level athletics, we provide the tools and experiences you need to succeed. Join a community that prioritizes your success. Start your journey with us, where your potential is realized. Discover Adrian College.
Bulldogs have a 1-0 lead over the Fighting Irish as we're about ready to start the bottom half of the second inning. As I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to watch this game on ACTV. We are a student-run broadcast. So coming up to bat for Adrian College, this is Luke Pope. Pope is the designated hitter for the Bulldogs. He is a senior from St. John's, Michigan. He's looking to get the offense going again. He takes the ball inside from Noah Hughes. Count 1-0 on Luke Pope. Here's the pitch. Pope with a big swing and a miss, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. 1-1 on Luke Pope. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He takes the ball low and outside from Noah Hughes. Two and one on Pope. Here's the pitch. That is just off the plate. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Luke Pope. This is only his first at bat in the series. He did not play in game 1. Instead, it was Franco. That's ball 4 as Luke Pope walks in his first at bat of this series. So here is Damon Harris. Harris came in game 1 to pinch hit for Adam Lashaway. So he'll take his first at bat here in game 2. Pope taking a good lead from first. Home plate umpire calls time. The first pitch coming up from Hughes to Harris. Harris drops down a bunt. Hughes will pick it up and make the throw to first. To Toole for out number 1. Down to second goes Pope. As for the second inning in a row, the Bulldogs have been able to get a runner in scoring position, as Pope is now at second base with 1 out. Now here's Ty Perrin. Perrin had a bunt single back in game 1. He was thrown out at second as Brock Hudick grounded himself into a double play, as Perrin takes the ball low and outside from Noah Hughes. So here is Ty Perrin, the graduate student from Hudson, Michigan. Pope at second, 2 outs here in the second. Good pitch from Noah Hughes. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Perrin. That's just a little bit outside. That'll be 2 balls and 1 strike on Ty Perrin. A runner at second for the Bulldogs is Luke Pope, taking his lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. In there for a called strike as Perrin looked like he was going to show bunt, but instead decided to take strike 2. So the count is even. 2-2 on Ty Perrin. Luke Pope is at second base. 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 Bulldogs, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ty Perrin goes down on strikes for out number 2. That's Hughes' first strikeout as he gets Perrin swinging on a 2-2 pitch. So now here's Brock Hudick. Hudick will try to pick up Pope from second. First pitch to Hudick. That's outside. Hudick checks in with a .379 batting average with 26 hits in almost 70 at-bats. Here's the 1-0. That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Brock Hudick. Hudick also playing center field here in game 2, like he did back in game 1. Pope taking a lead at second base. Here's the 2-0. Hudick hits a grounder to short. That'll be picked up by Eric Gee. He'll make the throw to first. It'll be not in time as Toole was off the bag. So the Bulldogs will have runners at the corners with 2 outs. And Luke Pope is at third base. Brock Hudick is at first. So here's Jack Florig. Now a base hit will bring a runner home. Hudick at first, taking his lead. First pitch to Florig. In there for a called strike. Count 0-1 on Jack Florig. Noah Hughes gets set on the mound. Count is 0-1, 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Florig takes the ball low and outside. count is 1-1 on Jack Florig. And the runner's going, and that's going to get away from Davidson. Down to second goes Brock Hudick. Luke Pope will hold at third base. So Adrian College has both runners in scoring position. Pope at third, Hudick at second. So Jack Florig checking in with a .407 batting average. 11 hits and 27 at-bats, 8 RBIs, 14 total bases. As the umpire, both the umpires are having a quick meeting there. They're checking in to see what the count was. So meanwhile, it is 2 balls and 1 strike on Jack Florig. So Luke Pope is at third base. Brock Hudick is at second. Hudick advanced to second on the wild pitch from Noah Hughes. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion going on for the moment. But now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jack Florig. And calling timeout again. Florig had to take a quick practice swing. But now he's ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Florig. That is low and in the dirt. A good block by Parker Davidson. So the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jack Florig, with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the second inning, Bulldogs trying to get a couple more runs to score. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Florig hits one the opposite way. That'll be picked up by Gee, and he drops it. The throw to first, not in time. The run scores. Pope crosses the plate, and the Bulldogs lead 2-0 in the second inning. They'll have runners on the corners for Jesse Leyva. So Florig reaches first on the defensive error on Eric Gee. So now the batter will be Jesse Leyva. Adrian College leads 2-0 now. First pitch to Leyva. Another block by Davidson. So Brock Hudick is at third base. Jack Florig is at first. Florig taking his lead. Hughes checking on him. Here comes the 1-0. That's back up the middle. That'll be picked up by Ingram. He'll tag second base for out number 3, but the Bulldogs get one more run on the RBI by Jack Florig. It was a defensive error, but the Bulldogs lead 2-0 as they leave runners on the corners as we now go to the third inning. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you graduate.
Top half of the third inning, Michael Hale gets back to work on the mound. First pitch to Eric Gee is a called strike one. Gee will be followed by Goodrow and Ballard. Swing and a miss. That's strike two. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Hale. That's high and outside for ball one. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hale. That is high. Count is 2-2 on Eric Gee. Gee is playing shortstop here in game 2 for Notre Dame. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Hale. Low and in the dirt. As Hale got ahead on the count 0-2. Now the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Eric Gee. Goodrow is waiting his turn on deck. Here's the 3-2. High and outside, ball 4. So after getting ahead on the count 0-2, it gets to a full count and Michael Hale walks Gee. So Notre Dame will have a runner on base. Here's Brendan Goodrow. Goodrow taking his second at bat here in game 2. And the runner's going, and they got him picked off. The throw from Hicks to Perrin is not in time. So the University of Notre Dame will have a runner in scoring position. So Goodrow is playing right field today here in game 2. In game 1, he was the designated hitter. Here's the pitch. Drops down a bunt. It actually goes up and hits the net in foul territory. Count is no balls and 1 strike on Goodrow. Joseph Ballard is waiting his turn on deck. Nobody out. A runner on second base for the Fighting Irish. Here's the 0-1 from Hale. Tapped foul and out of play. Count is 0-2 on Goodrow. Goodrow in game 1, he flied out and grounded out twice. He was hit by a pitch, but then scored in one of the 3 runs that the Fighting Irish got in game 1 as they got the win over the Bulldogs 3-0. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Runners go, and a swing and a miss. The throw, the tag is not in time as Hale gets the strikeout as he gets Goodrow swinging, but Eric Gee advances to third. He has a stolen base, so now the batter is Joseph Ballard. As he is a base hit away from cutting this lead in half. Anthony Ingram waits his turn in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch from Hale. That's ball 1. Count is 1 ball and no strikes on Joseph Ballard. With 1 out here in the top half of the third inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike 1. Count is 1-1 on Joseph Ballard. He plays left field for Notre Dame. Count is 1-1. Fighting Irish has a runner in third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. On the ground to second. That'll be picked up by Ty Perrin. He'll throw to Colton Hicks for out number 2. But the run scores as the lead is cut in half. That'll be an RBI for Joseph Ballard. As Eric Gee crosses the plate, Bulldogs have a 2-1 lead. So now the batter is Anthony Ingram. He will bat with the bases empty. With 2 outs. First pitch he'll see from Hale. He has a big swing and a miss. Michael Hale trying to end this inning as quick as he can here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's ball 1. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Anthony Ingram with 2 outs here in the third. Here's the pitch. Ingram hits a swing and a high pop fly, shallow right center field. That will be caught by Tyler Hall to end the inning. But the Fighting Irish get 1 run on the RBI ground out by Joseph Ballard, scoring in Eric Gee. But we will go to the bottom half of the third inning. The Bulldogs have the lead 2-1 here in Game 2 of this doubleheader series at Nicolay Field. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today. If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today.
Bottom of the third inning, the Bulldogs have the lead 2-1. The Fighting Irish scored 1 run on the RBI ground out by Ballard. So here is Tyler Hall, who made the catch for the last out in the top half of the third inning. He'll bat first in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 0-1. That is a ball 1. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Tyler Hall. He'll be followed by Isaac Jermu. And then Colton Hicks, as he hits a ground ball to the first baseman, Toole. He has to hurry, rushes to the bag, not in time. Tyler Hall has an infield single. As Toole slid in with his glove to try to tag him out, but Hall showed his hustle. So Adrian College has a runner aboard on first to start things off here in the bottom of the third inning. As Isaac Jermu is coming up next, he has a quick conversation with Bulldogs head coach Josh Canor. So Isaac Jermu was hit by a pitch in the first inning, but did not score. As the first pitch coming up to him from Hughes. He swings and hits it foul. Count is no balls and 1 strike on Isaac Jermu. So Jermu will try to pick up Tyler Hall from first. We'll try to get him to advance at least a couple bases, if not more. If not to get him to score, I should say. Count is 0-1. Jermu drops down a bunt. Hughes will come to pick it up. He'll make the throw to first, and they'll get the out there. So Jermu is out at first. Down to second goes Tyler Hall. So Hall is now in scoring position. Now the batter will be Colton Hicks. Hicks will bat with Perrin at second base with 1 out. here in the bottom of the third inning. Bulldogs have the lead 2-1, trying to add on more here. Hicks hits a swing and a high pop fly. That is going to be caught by the shortstop, Eric Gee, for out number 2. Tyler Hall still at second base. So now here's Luke Pope. Pope walked back in the second inning, and he scored Pope scored on the infield RBI by Jack Florig as he takes the ball from Hughes. Count is 1-0 on Luke Pope. He was on base on the walk, so he's still in search of his first hit. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Luke Pope. This is only his second at-bat of this series, because remember, he did not play in Game 1. He is the designated hitter. And the throw back to second, and they will not get him. Hall showing good awareness as a base runner. Gets back to second. A runner on base for the Bulldogs. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 2-0 to Pope. Pope just got a piece of that one as it goes foul. So the count is 2-1. And also with 2 outs, Hall will be on the move. Because remember, if there's 2 outs and if you're on base, you run no matter what after the bat hits the ball. But if there's less than 2 outs, you have to be mindful of the infield fly rule. As if it's hit up in the air, you have to stay for a moment. As Pope hits it in the air to left, that is going to be caught by Billard for out number 3. Bulldogs get 1 runner on base, but Tyler Hall is left stranded at second as Luke Pope flies out to left for out number 3. The Bulldogs clinging on to a 2-1 lead as we go to the top half of the 4th inning. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
10 years ago, Adrian College Television set out on a mission to bring the excitement, the passion, and the unforgettable moments of Bulldog athletics to fans everywhere. From the field to the court, from nail-biting finishes to championship victories, ACTV has been there to capture it all.
Yeah, Jordan Spear, happy birthday, buddy. I'm sure.
This year, we celebrate a decade of dedication, 10 years of innovation, teamwork, and delivering the energy of Adrian College straight to your screen. Here's to the next chapter of ACTV, because at Adrian College, the story is just beginning.
Bulldogs 2 and the Fighting Irish 1 as we go the top half of the 4th inning. For those of you watching at home, we would like to remind you to stay connected with all the action by following at Adrian College TV on social media. From game highlights to campus events, we've got you covered. Don't miss a moment. Follow at Adrian College TV today. You can follow us on Instagram, X, and on Facebook. And for those of you who are watching at home, we would like to thank you very much for checking out our YouTube channel. There's so much more to see, so be sure to click on the red button, the one that says subscribe, and tap the bell. That way you'll be notified when we start a stream. As Michael Hale throws to first, the runner is safe. And if you tap the bell for notifications, you'll be notified 30 minutes before we start a broadcast, wherever we may be. As we are on the way to 13,000 subscribers. So, Notre Dame has a runner at first, with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch to to Christopher Ayers. He swings and hits it foul and out of play. So the count is 0-1. I would also like to mention over at Docking Stadium, Adrian College women's lacrosse lost to Calvin University 14-10. Here's the 0-1 pitch, a little flare. That's going to drop into right field for a base hit. So that'll be back-to-back base runners to start things off for the Fighting Irish, as they're starting to have something going here with their offense, as they're looking to tie it up and then possibly take the lead here. So now the batter will be Thomas Toole. Toole played in right field in game 1. He is the first baseman here in game 2. So bat with runners at first and second and nobody out in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch he'll see from Michael Hales. He drops down a bunt. Hale comes to pick it up, and there will be no play. Bases loaded, nobody out. So Hale is now in a bases loaded jam here as here comes Josh Knorr. The Bulldogs will have a quick meeting on the mound, looking to see what they can do to get 3 quick outs. Josh Knorr talking to some of his players. Definitely making sure that their infielders are laser focused on wherever the ball is going. But mainly, it's going to be up to Michael Hale to get 3 quick outs. A couple of strikeouts would be good for him too. So now the batter will be Parker Davidson. Davidson will bat with the bases loaded and nobody out. Here's the first pitch. Big swing and a miss. So Durkin is at third. Toole's at second. That's fouled away. Look out. That one landed somewhere near the pavilion. So Durkin Jr. is at third. Christopher Ayers is at second. Thomas Toole is at first. Count is 0-2 on Parker Davidson. Hale getting set on the mound, looking for the sign. So Harris gives him the sign. Here's the 0-2. That's low and outside. A ball and 2 strikes on Parker Davidson. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bulldogs lead 2-1. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Davidson. That's outside and the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody, so nobody out. Bases are loaded for the Fighting Irish. Bulldogs have a 2-1 lead. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a huge strikeout for Michael Hale as he gets Parker Davidson swinging. 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning. So now the batter will be Joseph Colleran. Here's the pitch from Michael Hale. Big swing and a miss from Colleran. Colleran has played third base in both Game 1 and Game 2. Count is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Hale. Swings and it's a high pop fly to the right side. It'll be caught by Ty Perrin. As it'll be an infield pop out. As Colleran pops out to Ty Perrin for out number 2. So now here's Eric Gee. Gee reached on base and scored in a run for the Fighting Irish. Bases remain loaded with 2 outs. First pitch to him. That is ball 1. If Gee shall reach, Brendan Goodrow is waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. He's taking some practice swings. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, and the count is even with 1 ball and 1 strike on Eric Gee. Gee did not play back in Game 1. But here in Game 2, he is playing shortstop and batting at the bottom of the lineup. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good pitch from Michael Hale. Hale trying to work his way out of a bases-loaded jam. Bulldogs lead 2-1. Here comes the 1-2. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hale's had a pair of strikeouts today. He had 1 in the first, and he has had 1 so far here in the 3rd inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Hale. That's way outside. As Harris had to move quite a bit to make the snag. So the count is full at 3-2. Hale will have to throw a strike here. So coming up will be the payoff pitch. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Goodrow waiting his turn on deck if Gee shall reach. Here's the payoff pitch from Hale. Runners going. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Michael Hale gets out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. He gets 2 strikeouts and a pop out. Bulldogs clinging on to a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
This is the Arrington Bookstore at Adrian College, the place to get game day ready, represent your clubs and organizations, and be Bulldog proud. With a wide selection of merchandise and a smile at every visit, stop by inside the Kane Student Center to pick up your Adrian College wares and make it another great day to be a Bulldog.
Adrian College is a private liberal arts institution known for its diverse academic programs, strong emphasis on experiential learning, vibrant campus life, and commitment to fostering a supportive community. Want to visit Adrian College for yourself? Visit our website at adrian.edu/campus visit.
And we are back now. As for those of you that missed it, the Fighting Irish threatened to score. They loaded the bases. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, but Michael Hale does his thing. Gets a strikeout, a pop out, and a big strikeout to end the inning. As Noah Hughes gets back to work on the mound. As he'll face Damon Harris for the 2nd time today. Here comes the 1-0. That's a grounder to the shortstop, Eric Gee. He'll make the throw to first as Toole will tag Harris out. 1 up, 1 down for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So it is 4 o'clock. on a beautiful day here in Adrian, Michigan. A little bit cold and cloudy, but mostly blue sky. So here's Ty Perrin. One and 0 on Perrin. That is ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Ty Perrin. That is a strike. Count is 2-1 on Perrin. That's a foul ball. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ty Perrin. Bulldogs have a lead 2-1. Back in the first inning. They scored a run. In the second, they scored 1 run. In the top of the third inning, the Fighting Irish got one as Ty Perrin just struck out looking. So Noah Hughes has his second strikeout. He gets Perrin looking on a 2-2 pitch. So now it'll be Brock Hudick. First pitch to Hudick. Hudick scored the first run in the bottom of the first inning on the RBI double by Tyler Hall. So the count is 1-0. Hudick swings. It's a high pop fly into shallow right center field. And that's going to drop. You could see the frustration on Noah Hughes as he was looking for someone to make the catch. But Hudick will be aboard on first base. Now here's Jack Florig. Florig will bat with Hudick at first. Here's the pitch to Florig. That's ball 1. Two outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Bulldogs trying to add on more to their 2-1 lead. On the ground, that'll be picked up by Eric Gee, who has been busy today, and he gets him at first. Bulldogs do not score as they have a 2-1 lead as we now go to the 5th inning in Game 2 of this doubleheader series between the Fighting Irish and your Adrian College Bulldogs. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
Before the achievements, before the celebrations, there's the work. Early mornings, late nights. Every challenge faced, every extra effort made.
Every victory starts with preparation.
We value leadership, resilience, and innovation. No victory without work. Because success isn't given, it's earned. Welcome to Adrian College.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Morgan, the current student government president here at Adrian College. I chose Adrian College because of the campus size. Campus feels like a fun, energetic community where everyone knows each other. If you want to see what Adrian has to offer for you, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Here we go in the top half of the 5th inning. So Michael Hale, after doing phenomenal work, after getting out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam, he'll get back to work on the mound. He'll face number 11. As that ball ends up into the gap is Brendan Goodrow rounding second. He'll try to go to third. The throw from Leyva, not in time. A leadoff triple from Brendan Goodrow. As the Fighting Irish has a runner at third base. So now here's Joseph Ballard. So a base hit will bring Goodrow on home to score. Bulldogs have the lead 2-1 here in game 2. As Hale's going to try his best to hold Notre Dame to just one run. Checks on the runner at third base. As he'll have to keep a good eye on him. Here's the pitch. As that's going to go foul and out of play. It'll land onto the hill. Count is 0-1 on Joseph Ballard. He bats with a runner at third, who is Goodrow, who just hit a leadoff triple. Here's the 0-1 from Hale. Here's a fly ball into left field that might be deep to score on the run. Florig makes the basket catch. Here comes the throw to the plate. It'll be not in time. The run scores, and this game is tied at 2. It'll be a sacrifice fly RBI for Joseph Ballard. As he flies out to the left to Jack Florig. Yeah, Florig made a good basket catch. So now the batter will be Anthony Ingram. So this game is tied at 2 runs apiece. 2 for the Bulldogs and 2 for the Fighting Irish. As we have action going on in the Bulldog bullpen. In there for a called strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Hale. Swing and a miss. Hale is not messing around. He is getting ahead on the count on Ingram. So it is 0-2. So Ingram is batting with the bases empty. Here's the pitch. And a ground ball to the second baseman. Ty Perrin will throw to first to Colton Hicks for out number 2. Hale again trying to end this inning as quick as he can. So Michael Hale will try to get just one more out here. Here's the pitch. That's ball 1 on Daniel Durkin Jr. Hale trying to finish out this inning strong. Grounder to third. That'll be a foul ball. Jermu had a good eye on it. But the count is 1-1 strike on Daniel Durkin Jr. This game is tied at 2 runs apiece. As Joseph Ballard had a sacrifice fly RBI. Scored in Brendan Goodrow. And a little flare. That's going to drop into base hit to right field. It'll be stopped by Tyler Hall as Daniel Durkin Jr. has a base hit. So now it is Christopher Ayers. Ayers hit a single back in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch from Hale. That is high, ball 1. Count 1-0 on Christopher Ayers. He bats with Durkin Jr. at first base with 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 pitch coming up from Hale. Swing, and it's a high pop fly in the middle of the infield. That's going to be caught by Perrin to end the inning. So Christopher Ayers pops out to Ty Perrin to end the inning, but it is a 2-2 tie here at Nicolay Field in Game 2 of this doubleheader series between the Fighting Irish and the Bulldogs. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
Adrian College is shaping the future of higher education and leading the way in innovation and excellence. Ranked first in most innovative schools and second in best value in undergraduate teaching in the Midwest by U.S. News and World Report, Adrian College is recognized for its commitment to innovation, quality education, and affordability. Offering 71 undergraduate programs, 13 graduate programs, and a 1-to-15 faculty-to-student ratio, our students receive personalized attention and a cutting-edge education. With state-of-the-art facilities, 10 academic institutes, and 50 competitive sports teams, Adrian fosters growth both inside and outside the classroom. From small class sizes to championship-level athletics, we provide the tools and experiences you need to succeed. Join a community that prioritizes your success. Start your journey with us, where your potential is realized. Discover Adrian College.
Bottom of the fifth inning now, 2-2 tie here in Game 2 at Nicolay Field. As Noah Hughes will get back to work on the mound. He's had a pair of strikeouts, given up a couple of runs. Coming up to bat is Jesse Leyva. Leyva will bat and lead things off for Adrian College in the bottom of the fifth inning, as he's going to try to help the Bulldogs get their offense going again, as they'll need to score one to take the lead. Leyva hits a high pop fly, foul territory. It'll go out of play. That's strike one on Jesse Leyva. Leyva will be followed by Tyler Hall and Isaac Jermu. And if at least one of them shall reach, Colton Hicks would get a chance to bat. As the count is 0-1 on Jesse Leyva. Here's the pitch from Hughes. And the umpire says it was just foul tipped, and the count is 0-2 on Jesse Leyva. Leyva checks in with a .400 batting average. 12 hits in 30 at-bats, 8 RBIs, and 12 total bases. That's ball one on Leyva. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jesse Leyva, as Davidson is having a quick mound visit to Noah Hughes. They're having a quick conversation as the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jesse Leyva. It's Davidson giving Hughes a quick reminder of some sort. As they seem to be checking on the ball, making sure it's good enough to keep playing. And they will throw it and he'll throw it for at least one more time here to Leyva. Here comes the 1-2 to Leyva. That's back up the middle. Will be picked up by Eric Gee. He'll make the throw to first, and they got him. So Leyva grounds out to the shortstop, Eric Gee, for out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So here is Tyler Hall. Hall had an RBI double in the first inning that scored in Brock Hudick. It gave the Bulldogs a 1-0 lead. But now it's a 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch to Hall. Breaking ball in there. That was a good pitch by Noah Hughes. Lands on the inside corner for a called strike. Here's the 0-1. That was just a little bit inside. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Tyler Hall. Here's the pitch. On the ground. Will it go through the hole? No, it will not. But the throw to first, not in time, as Ingram couldn't quite make the play as Hall beat it. So Hall will be on base for the second time today, as he has an infield single. Here's Isaac Jermu. It'll be up to him to pick up Hall from first base. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike one. Count 0-1 on Isaac Jermu. Here's the pitch. Whoa! Foul ball hits the net right in front of me. And yes, I did flinch at it. Hughes getting ahead on the count, 0-2 on Isaac Jermu. The one out, a runner at first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High ball one, and the runner's going, and that's going to get away from Ingram. It'll be a stolen base for Tyler Hall as he is in scoring position. So Isaac Jermu would need a base hit as Josh Knorr checking on Hall, making sure he's okay. That was quite a slide. 1-2 on Isaac Jermu. Home plate umpire confirms the count. Hughes gets set on the mound, gets the sign he wants. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes as he misses high above the zone. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. 2-2 to Jermu. Ball 3 of a full count now. Jermu has been on base once as he was hit by a pitch after Tyler Hall had an RBI double that scored in Brock Hudick, but did not score. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes on Isaac Jermu. Noah Hughes gets the sign he wants, and the home plate umpire calls timeout. Jermu takes a second to take a practice swing. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Foul ball hits the net again. Count still 3-2 on Jermu. Colton Hicks is on deck. He will be next. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Here again is the 3-2. And he got him swinging. Big strikeout for Noah Hughes. He gets Jermu swinging on a 3-2 pitch. So that'll bring up Colton Hicks. Hicks will have to pick up Hall from second base. A single or a ball that's hit far enough that lands in the outfield could get Hall to come home and score, as it's called the first pitch that Hicks sees from Hughes is a called strike one on the outside corner. 2 outs. Here's the 0-1. Big swing and a miss, and the runner's going to third, and he is going to be safe. No, they're calling him out as Hall overslid the base, and he is tagged out by Colleran. And we will now go to the 6th inning. It is still a 2-2 tie here in Game 2 at Nicolay Field. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you graduated.
Top of the 6th inning. Michael Hale will pitch for at least one more inning, as we do have action going on in the Bulldogs bullpen as Matthias Neuenkirchen is getting warmed up. Here's the 1-0 from Hale. Swing and a miss. It was a big swing and a miss by Thomas Toole. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Foul ball hits the net. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball and 2 strikes on Thomas Toole. He'll be followed by Parker Davidson and Joseph Colleran. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball to the right side. Will go foul and out of play. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Thomas Toole. Michael Hale trying to hold the Fighting Irish to 2 runs. The 1-2. Here's a high pop fly to the right side. Will it stay in play? Hicks tried making the catch, tried jumping for it, but still goes out of bounds. Count still 1-2 on Thomas Toole. This is the top half of the 6th inning in Game 2 of this doubleheader series. 1-2 from Michael Hale to Thomas Toole. Toole just got a piece of that one. It's foul tipped. Or else that would have been a strikeout on a wild pitch. Neuenkirchen is warming up in the bullpen for the Bulldogs. 1-2 from Hale. Here's a high fly ball. Pop fly into shallow right center as Tyler Hall makes another good catch, as he covered up a lot of ground to come in and make the play. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 6th inning. Now here's Parker Davidson. Davidson struck out with the bases loaded in his last at bat. It was the inning when Michael Hale got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. Davidson swings at the first pitch. It's a pop fly. It'll be caught by the first baseman, Colton Hicks, for out number 2. So now the batter is Joseph Colleran. So it was Colleran who popped out in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. Davidson struck out. So here is Colleran. First pitch to him is ball 1. And so Eric Gee, who struck out with the bases loaded in the 4th inning to end it, is on deck. Here's a high pop fly again to the right side. It will go foul and out of play. Count is 1-1 on Joseph Colleran. Eric Gee is on deck. Here's the 1-1 from Hale. Check swing, it goes foul. Not a play. It's picked up from Christopher Ayers in the dugout as he throws it back to Damon Harris, who gives it to Hale. As Ayers was able to get a practice play in from the dugout on that foul ball. But now Hale has a 1-1 count on Colleran. Here's the pitch. That is low. 2 balls and 1 strike on Joseph Colleran. Home plate umpire confirming the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a fly ball into right field. Hall will make his 2nd catch of this inning. So we will now make our way to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 tie here at Nicolay Field. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Hale. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
10 years ago, Adrian College Television set out on a mission to bring the excitement, the passion, and the unforgettable moments of Bulldog athletics to fans everywhere. From the field to the court, from nail-biting finishes to championship victories, ACTV has been there to capture it all.
Yeah, Jordan Spear. Happy birthday, buddy. I'm sure.
This year, we celebrate a decade of dedication, 10 years of innovation, teamwork, and delivering the energy of Adrian College straight to your screen. Here's to the next chapter of ACTV, because at Adrian College, the story is just beginning.
Two ties. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming up to bat is Colton Hicks. Hicks will actually resume his at-bat, but the count will reset 0-0. As Tyler Hall was tagged out at third base trying to steal. Looked like he was safe at first, but overslid the bag. So now here's Colton Hicks. He takes ball one from Noah Hughes. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Hicks with an awkward swing. Count is even at 1-1 Count is 1-1 on Colton Hicks. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. That's ball two out, just a little bit outside. It's 2 balls and a strike on Colton Hicks. The pitcher, first baseman. Here's the 2-1. That's 3-1 on Colton Hicks. A walk would be a good advantage for the Bulldogs to get the leadoff man aboard. 3-1 on Hicks. That's ball 4. Leadoff walk for Colton Hicks as he's aboard on base. This will be a mound visit for the Fighting Irish, as we're going to have a pinch runner come in. So Luke Pope will come in and bat. So we have a pinch runner for the Bulldogs as Colton Hicks will make his way to the dugout. So pinch running for Colton Hicks will be Will Nemechek. Will Nemechek will pinch run for Colton Hicks. As we also have a pitching change for the Bulldogs as he's getting his warm-up throws in. We're going to step aside and take a quick break, but we'll be right back. You're watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today.
Bottom of the 6th inning as Colton Hicks was walked by Noah Hughes as his day is done. So Will Nemechek will pinch run for him at first base. Nemechek is a freshman from Waukesha, Wisconsin. So coming up to bat for Adrian College is Luke Pope. He'll try to pick up Nemechek at first base. Meanwhile, Matthias Neuenkirchen is still warming up in the Bulldog bullpen. And so Davidson giving some words of encouragement to the new pitcher that just entered in for the Fighting Irish. It'll be number 8, Anthony Ingram, who will be taking over on the mound for Noah Hughes. Hughes gave up 2 runs, and he had a few strikeouts. But now the batter is Luke Pope. That'll be outside. Here's teammates cheering him on. Here's the 1-0. Pope takes the ball outside. So actually on the mound it's going to be number 9, Daniel Durkin Jr. Throwback to first, not in time. And so Ingram still at second base. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 3 balls and no strikes on Luke Pope. Still nobody out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. This is game 2 of a doubleheader series for club baseball. In there for a called strike 1. Damon Harris is waiting his turn on the on-deck circle. He will be next. Here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss. So the count is all caught up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nemechek at first. That's ball 4. That'll be back-to-back walks as the Bulldogs will have runners at first and second with nobody out. So Damon Harris coming up to bat. And here comes Nathan Lindner. He will be pinch running for Luke Pope. So both batters that have been walked in this inning will both be replaced by pinch runners. Nemechek at second, Nathan Lindner at first. Now the batters, Damon Harris tries dropping down a bunt. That'll be ball 1 from Durkin Jr. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes as Durkin Jr. seems to be struggling at finding the zone. So Nemechek is at second. Lindner is at first. 2-0 the count on Damon Harris. Bulldogs trying to take the lead. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike 1. Count is 2-1 on Damon Harris. Nobody out. 2 runners aboard for the Bulldogs. 2-1. Harris tried to bunt, but it goes foul, hits the net. Count is even on Damon Harris. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He'll try to pick up Nemechek from second base to try to get him to score at least and to try to advance Lindner to third. Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Damon Harris strikes out on a pitch that was up and in. And he goes down swinging for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. So now here's Javier Rosa Franco. He will be making his first at-bat. He is pinch hitting. He'll be pinch hitting for Ty Perrin. 1-0. That is low. 2 balls and no strikes on Franco. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Franco. in there for a called strike. 2 runners aboard for the Bulldogs, both of them pinch runners. Nemechek pinch running for Colton Hicks. Nathan Lindner pinch running for Luke Pope. Durkin Jr. gets on the mound. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and hit foul and out of play. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Franco. Home plate umpire confirming the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Javier Rosa Franco. Here's the pitch. Foul ball. Franco just got a piece of that one. Again, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. This is the bottom of the 6th inning. Bulldogs looking to get their offense going here. The 2-2. Franco hits a ground ball to the shortstop. It'll be dropped by Eric Gee. Franco will make it to first. Down to third goes Nemechek. Down to second goes Lindner. And look who's coming up to bat. It is Brock Hudick. The bases are loaded for the Bulldogs with only 1 out. This has been a very intense inning for Adrian. Hudick will try to get it at least out of the infield. Swung on and hit foul and out of play. Count is 0-1 on Hudick. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 tie at Nicolay Field. Here's the 0-1. That's ball 1. So Durkin Jr. with the 1-1 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Brock Hudick. Hudick will be followed by Jack Florig. Here's the 2-1. Ball 3. 3-1 on Hudick. Durkin Jr. will have to throw a strike here. With the bases loaded, 1 out. 3-1 to Hudick. Check swing, did he go? They're asking for an appeal. They're saying that he swung, so that's strike 2. Count is full, 3-2 on Brock Hudick. 1 out, bases loaded, the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, that'll force in a run. As Nemechek will score, it'll be a bases loaded walk to Brock Hudick from Durkin Jr. As Adrian College takes a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So now the batter will be Jack Florig. It is up to him now to get a couple more runs to come in and score. First pitch to Florig. Swinging a foul and out of play. Count is no balls and a strike on Jack Florig. Here's the pitch from Durkin Jr. High and outside, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. So Lindner is at third. Franco is at second. And Hudick is at first. Bases are still loaded as Davidson is having a quick conversation with Durkin. The count is 1-1 on Jack Florig. As Florig takes a little practice swing. So Florig looking for the pitch that he wants to hit. Here's the 1-1. That's way inside. Florig had to dodge it a little bit. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Jack Florig. Jesse Leyva is waiting his turn on deck. Now the 2-1 delivery. That's just inside. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Florig. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the 3-1 to Florig. Florig hits it in the air to left field, and that is going to be caught, and it's dropped! Baylor drops the ball. Linder will come in and score. It is 4-2 Bulldogs. That'll be an RBI for Jack Florig. But the bases still remain loaded here. So coming up to bat is Jesse Leyva, but we will have a mound visit as the Fighting Irish are going to try to figure out a way to just put an end to this inning as quick as they can here. The bases still remain loaded for Adrian College. Still only 1 out here as they took the lead on a bases-loaded walk to Brock Hudick, scoring in Nemechek. But then Jack Florig hit a fly ball to left field. But the catch attempt, it was dropped by Billard in left field, allowing Nathan Linder to come home and score. So Adrian College has scored a couple of runs to make it 4-2, and they're looking to have even more here. And so Durkin Jr. will remain in this game for the moment. So Jesse Leyva, it is up to him now to get the job done. His teammates clapping and cheering for him. First pitch to Leyva. That's outside. So Franco is at third, Hudick at second. Florig is at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Leyva takes the ball up and inside from Durkin Jr. Count 2-0 on Jesse Leyva. Here's the pitch. Way inside. Count is 3-0 on Leyva. As Durkin seems to be struggling again at finding the strike zone. The count is, as he has fallen behind on the count. 3 balls and no strikes on Jesse Leyva. Here's the pitch. As that is a 4-pitch walk. That is the second bases-loaded walk of this inning for Durkin Jr. That'll force in a run as Franco will come in and score. So Hudick is at third base. Florig is at second. And Leyva will be at first base. And will Durkin's day be done? Yes, it will. He's going to be coming out of the game. We have a pitching change here at Nicolay Field. As we're going to step aside and take a break, but we'll be right back. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Before the achievements, before the celebrations, there's the work. Early mornings, late nights, Every challenge faced, every extra effort made.
Every victory starts with preparation.
We value leadership, resilience, and innovation. No victory without work. Because success isn't given, it's earned. Welcome to Adrian College.
Back to the bottom of the sixth inning as the Bulldogs have scored 3 runs. 2 of them were on bases-loaded walks from Durkin Jr. And taking over for him will be Keaton Rogers, the 5th-year senior from Santa Monica, California. Rogers comes in with an 0-0 record. This is his second appearance. He hasn't even... So this will be his first... So he'll try to make this his first full inning that he's ever pitched in. So he's making his warm-up throws in. But the Bulldogs got 3 runs scored, but the bases still remain loaded with 1 out here, as there was a walk with the bases loaded that scored in Nemechek. And then Floric hit a fly ball to left field. It was caught and then dropped. So that would be a defensive error on the left fielder Ballard. And another bases loaded walk was given to Jesse Leyva from Durkin Jr. as Durkin Jr.'s day is done here in Game 2. So taking over for him will be Keaton Rogers. Rogers standing in at 6'3", weighing in at 190 pounds. He is a pitcher, and he also plays first base for the Fighting Irish, as he'll get to work on the mound as he gets some quick last-minute advice from Parker Davidson. But coming up to bat for the Bulldogs will be Tyler Hall. Hall had an RBI double back in the first inning that scored in Brock Hudick. That was the first run that the Bulldogs scored. That gave them a 1-0 lead. But Hall will try to add on more here. So Hall will bat with the bases loaded for the Bulldogs with still only one out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So Hudick is at third, Floric at second, and Leyva is at first. Hudick was walked, Floric reached on base on a defensive error, and Leyva was walked. First pitch to Hall is in there for a called strike 1. So Rogers is going to try to get 2 quick outs as soon as he can here. Hall with a big swing and a miss on a pitch that was down. Count is 0-2 on Tyler Hall. Bulldogs have the lead 5-2. One out, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And a big strikeout for Rogers. That's his first strikeout of this season. And just his second appearance. So now it'll be up to Isaac Jermu as he'll bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. With a 5-2 lead for the Bulldogs. First pitch to Jermu is up and in for ball 1. Bulldogs looking to just keep their offense going to extend their lead as much as they can, the 1-0. And did that hit him? No, it didn't. It was really low and inside. Count is 2 balls and no strikes on Isaac Jermu. If Jermu shall reach, Connor Davies, who would be pinch hitting for Luke Pope, is waiting his turn on the on-deck circle. That's in there for a called strike. Count is 2-1 on Isaac Jermu. As Rogers is trying to send this game to the 7th inning. He just needs 1 more out. That's back up the middle. Into center field, a base hit. Hudick scores. As Floric will stay at third. That'll be an RBI single for Isaac Jermu. The Bulldogs have the lead 6-2. The bases still remain loaded This has been a big inning here offensively for the Bulldogs. They have now scored 4 runs. So here's number 5, Connor Davies. Bases are still loaded here with 2 outs. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. No swing, says the umpire in the infield. Count is 1-0 on Connor Davies. Here's the pitch. That's back up the middle as Ingram will tag second base for out number 3. But the Bulldogs leave the bases loaded, but they do what they need to do. They take the lead. They score 4 runs, 2 of them on bases loaded walks, 1 of them on the defensive error, and an RBI single that just happened by Isaac Jermu as we make our way to the 7th inning. 6-2 Adrian College here in Game 2 at Nicolay Field. You are watching Adrian College Club Baseball on ACTV.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
This is the Arrington Bookstore at Adrian College, the place to get game day ready, represent your clubs and organizations, and be Bulldog proud. With a wide selection of merchandise and a smile at every visit, stop by inside the Kane Student Center to pick up your Adrian College wares and make it another great day to be a Bulldog.
Seventh inning underway as Michael Hale, his day is done. He'll be replaced by Matthias Neuenkirchen, the sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. Neuenkirchen checks in with a .491 ERA. Doesn't have a win or a loss, but this is his 7th appearance of this season. He started a couple of games. He's pitched 22 innings, allowed 23 hits, 14 runs, 12 of them earned runs. He has walked 4 and struck out 20. His opponent averages .258. So he'll try to get 3 quick outs to even up this doubleheader series between the Bulldogs and the Fighting Irish. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Neuenkirchen. That's outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Eric Gee. Eric Gee reached on base in the 3rd inning and scored on the RBI ground out from Ballard. Here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss. So the Bulldogs have a 6-2 lead. So Game 3 will be tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. Foul ball hits the net. Count still full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 the count on Eric Gee. Goodrow is waiting his turn on deck. He will be next. Neuenkirchen gets set. Here's a 3-2 to Gee. Swing and another foul. Count 3 and 2 on Eric Gee. It's Neuenkirchen. Again, trying to get these last 3 outs. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Eric Gee is aboard on base. So here's Brendan Goodrow. Goodrow struck out in his last at bat. But he'll bat with Guy at first base with nobody out here in the 7th inning. Again, Bulldogs trying to get 3 quick outs and to end this. Because remember, if it's a doubleheader series for club baseball, they play 7 innings instead of 9. As Goodrow faked a bunt, he takes ball 1 from Matthias Neuenkirchen. Neuenkirchen checking on Guy at first base. Nobody out just yet here in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. And that's going to get away from Harris. He'll throw back to first, and the runner is safe. As he threw to Connor Davies, who couldn't quite get it in his glove and was off the bag too. So Davies is taking over for Colton Hicks at first. Here's the 2-0 pitch. The runner's going, and there'll be no play as it gets away from Harris. That'll be a stolen base for Eric Guy. As the count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Brendan Goodrow. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Neuenkirchen. And on the ground, that's going to be a base hit to left field. It gets past Leyva. Down to third goes Eric Guy. And so the Fighting Irish trying to respond back with offense of their own as they trail 6-2 to the Bulldogs. So here's Joseph Ballard. He'll bat with runners on the corners with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Anthony Ingram is waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Here's the first pitch to Ballard. Strike 1. Count 0-1 on Ballard. It's Matthias Neuenkirchen checking on the runner at first base. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's outside. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Ballard. Anthony Ingram is waiting his turn in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-1. On the ground to second, to second base. They'll get the out there, but the run will score as the lead is cut in half. That's the 3rd run of this game, too, for the Fighting Irish as Eric Guy comes home to score. As Ballard reaches first on a fielder's choice, as Goodrow is out at second. So here is Anthony Ingram. He'll bat with 1 out. Also on deck for the Fighting Irish is Rogers. Count is 0-1, and the runner's going, and that's a base hit to left field. And Ballard rounded second for a second, but he'll get back there. So now the Fighting Irish have runners at first and second with 1 out. As now the batter is Keaton Rogers. Rogers taking a couple of practice swings. This is his first at bat. Back in the bottom of the 6th inning, he came in as a pitcher to take over for Daniel Durkin Jr. As he'll bat with 1 out. First pitch he'll see from Neuenkirchen as he swings and misses. Count is 0-1. Here's the pitch from Neuenkirchen. Good stop there from Damon Harris at the plate. Bulldogs just need 2 quick outs to put an end to this game, too. Christopher Ayers is waiting his turn on deck. Here's the 1-1. That's inside, ball 2. Two balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Neuenkirchen. Ball 3. The count is 3-1. The count is 3-1. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike 2. Good pitch. That one was important from Neuenkirchen, as he has to throw another strike here. 3-2 to Rogers. Just gets a piece of that one. As the count is full on Keaton Rogers. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count 3-2. 2 on, 1 out. 3-2 to Rogers. And he got him swinging for out number 2. Neuenkirchen gets his first strikeout as he gets Rogers swinging on a 3-2 pitch. Big strikeout right there, as the Fighting Irish is down to their last out. 2 on, 2 outs. It'll be up to Christopher Ayers. First pitch to him, hits it in the air to center field. This should do it. Brock Hudick makes the catch. Cue the music. Bulldogs win 6-3, and this series is tied at a game apiece. Neuenkirchen allows 1 run to score, but leaves 2 runners on base. He gets a swinging strikeout on a 3-2 pitch and a flyout as Christopher Ayers flied out to Brock Hudick in center field. But that will do it for Game 2 of this doubleheader series here at Nicolay Field. Tomorrow will be Game 3 of the finale of this series. It will be starting at noon. Remington Gilniak will be on the call for that game. Also tomorrow at Adrian College, club softball will be hosting Ohio Northern University at 1 o'clock p.m. I will be on the call for that one as well. But what a game it has been, because back in the 6th inning, the Bulldogs took the lead with the bases loaded. They had a couple of bases loaded walks and an RBI single. But for those of you who are watching our stream, we want to thank you very much for tuning in to our broadcast on ACTV. From Josiah Durrell, Aiden Travers, Alex Herman, I am Forrest Vernier from Adrian College TV. Your final score, Adrian College 6 and the University of Notre Dame 3. Thank you very much again for watching and listening. Go in love and peace.